Oh man, shalom, 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 Israel. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Bam, there we go. Um, First and foremost, giving an all honor, praise, and glory to the Most High, Mashiach H.O.I, whom the world ignorantly calls God in Jesus Christ, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the nation of Israel, the chosen people of the Most High. Ashar Kadash Sharak, happy new brew moon. uh Ninth month, which is the month of Hanukkah. Shalom, all praises to the Most High Mashiach Yahushai. Shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters, and all the sincere family of the nation of Israel. Shalom to my immediate body, House of Israel, which I am the senior elder of. Shout out to my immediate body, House of Israel. And shalom to all of the nation of Israel that are sincere in Yahweh and Yahushai. Shout out to all those that's keeping the new moon today, and all praises. So I just want to come back. Today is the second part of the new moon. I know it's sundown for some of y'all already, depending on what coast you're on, but I'm on the west coast. So I still got about 2 hours of sundown out here. It's still bright, out here. Well, it's cloudy, but you know what I mean? The sun is still out. So I want to come to y'all real quick. The spirit came on me to come to y'all with something real quick, Israel. Not gonna be on here too long. But it's the new moon. Today would be like what you would call the second part. Last night I kept it with H.O.I. Los Angeles, Shield of Wisdom Los Angeles, and Soldiers of Yahweh Los Angeles. Shout out to them brothers, 3 camps, small crowd, but, representative of different camps. We're there to unify for the new moon. Shout out to Elder Priest Ahawam, did a mighty lesson. I was going to bring out some things, but the elder was in the spirit, so I just, out of respect, I just let the elder roll. But a mighty lesson by Elder Priest Ahawam of Shield of Wisdom. But I wanted to relay something to y'all, Israel, because I see, we living in these last days. Things are getting crucial. There's a lot going on. So, like the elder do, I just want to bring some encouragement on this new moon ninth month, second part, so to speak. All right. Speaking of ninth month, this is new moon ninth month. This brings in the month of Hanukkah or Feast of Dedication, which will be 24 days at even, all right, the 25th day. So, brothers and sisters, I know y'all been asking. Sorry for the delay. I've been advertising a little bit, but I know a few of y'all was asking about ordering menorahs. So, I got 3 styles to show y'all here. Remember, I always tell y'all every year and throughout the year, I got many different sizes and styles. So, I got the 5-inch right here. All right, silver with the brass top. All right, I got the 5-inch there. I got the 10-inch, which is one of my most popular ones. This is one of my most popular ones that people always purchase and get and support, whatever. I like this design. It's not too big, not too small. It's just a perfect size for your desk or whatever the case may be, your mantle, whatever. So that's the 10-inch with Jerusalem on one side and then Shalom on the other side, all right? That's the 10-inch design. It also comes in a bowl design also. This is what I call like a square design. This 10-inch, particular 10-inch, it also comes in a bowl design or a square design, and it also comes in 7 inches, this same style, all right? So that's the 10-inch menorah, all right? And last but not least, these are just the 3 styles I got available to show. This is the 15-inch, all right? The 15-inch. That's for those of y'all. A lot of congregations order these, or brothers that want to, have them on their desks or whatever when they do their services. That's the 15-inch. All right, that's the 15-inch design. Also comes in a 12-inch. All right, also comes in a 12-inch, so, all right? So those are 3 designs I just got available to show now. You can inbox me, email me houseofisraelnyc@gmail.com. Message me at Kanai Zabak on Facebook or Instagram and put in your orders for your menorahs. Now, do it ASAP, Israel, because by the first week of December, you got to have your order in by the first week of December. All right. In order to get it for the Feast of Dedication, in order to get it in time for the Feast of, I mean, you can order after that, but in order to get it in time for the Feast of Dedication, you have to order by the first week of December. Like I said, you can order it after that, but Salakia, you can order it after that, but it may not be there. It may, unless you do overnight or express, you're gonna pay that extra money. It may be there on time, it may not. All right, for Feast of Dedication. You'll have it for the rest of the year, and for next year's dedication, Lord forbid if we still here. But you gotta order by the 1st of December to get your I can guarantee if you do it by the 1st of December. I know the timeline with the mailing, but you know, it's Esau's pagan season, mail get backed up, things of that nature. So rather be safe than sorry, you gotta order by the first week of December. So again, that's the 5-inch silver and brass. Again, this is the 10-inch Jerusalem on one side, Shalom on the other side. Also comes in a 7-inch and also comes in a bold design in the 10-inch. All right. This is also the 15-inch. Right. Also comes in a 12-inch design. All right. So these are just of the 3 that I have to show. I got many more. You can inbox me, email me at houseofisraelnyc@gmail.com or message me on Instagram or Facebook, Zabak Kanai, and I have many more styles that I can show you. All right. But that's for those of you that want to purchase your menorahs for Hanukkah. All right. Let me put up my disclaimer before anybody gets simple. This is not about making merchandise of the nation, because you know, you can't do nothing with Israel without criticism. All right. This is actually a business that I was asked about many years ago, and people kept asking me, and they wanted to support. They said, Elder, where can I get a decent menorah? If you can get a menorah for me, I'll support. I'll get it from you, whatever. Not that I got to explain a damn thing. Nah, no folly. But it's just a little business the Most High blessed me with. I was like, I'll see. And the Most High opened the door, you know, and I partnered up and was able to eventually, you know, get my own thing going. And now, you know, I have the menorahs available during the Hanukkah season and all throughout the year. You know, people order from me during Passover, First Fruits, Tabernacles. But anyway, that's what it's about. You know, another thing, only serious inquiries, Israel. Only serious inquiries, please, because a lot of y'all, you hit me up and you're talking about what you saw on Amazon. And listen, if you go to Amazon or anywhere else and purchase your menorah, that's fine. That's fine by me. I mean, I don't say that to be rude or arrogant, but it is what it is. Only serious inquiries. I don't need 50 questions and then you don't want anything. Now, no, you know you're spending your money, so you want to ask questions. It's all good, but serious inquiries only, Israel. All right. So and like again, I'll work with you. I got all prices and sizes, budget ranges. So, you know, inbox me or message me if you're interested. But with that being said, there's a lot going on in the nation. You know, there's been a new revelation of doctrine that has come up lately, which is not really new. It's not really new, but it's resurfaced. All right, for lack of a better word. Solomon said in Ecclesiastes, that there's no new thing under the sun. So Gentile salvation and other things, it's been ongoing. We've heard these things over the years. Y'all think it's new and think it's some kind of revelation, but it's nothing new. So I just say that to say there's a lot going on in the nation. Y'all seen that situation. I'm not going to show the video, but the situation in Chicago where the public school, elementary school children jumped and beat up a pregnant sister and her children. it's getting bad out here. Like I said, I'm not going to show the video, but it's getting crazy out here. Let's get Proverbs 30 and 11. So this video is just to encourage y'all, Israel, on this new moon night month. Stay strong. Stay strong in His truth. All right, and stay strong with the Most High Mashiach Yahushai. All right, shalom to those that are coming in. All right, this is Proverbs 30 and 11. It says, there is a generation that curseth their father and doeth not bless their mother. Them children out there in Chicago, like I said, I'm not going to pull up and show the video. It's too graphic. Y'all probably seen it. Y'all know about it. But I just want to touch on how bad it's getting in these last days. And we got to stay encouraged and strong with what we're seeing in the world, with different doctrines and debates and confusion coming in Israel. You got to count the course and stay on course in this truth. All right. It says, there was a generation that curseth their father and doeth not bless their mother. So you can tell them children, curse their father, don't bless their mother. Whenever a child disrespects an adult or older person in their community, that's like disrespecting their mother and father, because we're all spiritually mothers and fathers to our children, to all of our children. Remember the saying, it takes a village. All right, so reading on, it says, there is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. You got people that you got these youngins, YNs. I know y'all say don't use that term, but instead of YN, we use YK. All right, no young Negro, we use young king. But anyway, you got these YNs that really think. There was a video where a young brother stepped up in a school security guard's face, and the school security guard hemmed him up. Now, some people said he went a little too far, but this young brother was stepping up, and the brother they're like, yo, who you stepping up on? Slow down, young boy. And some little Y in a comment said, don't worry about it. You'll have your switch for these old heads soon. So there's just a straight up general disrespect from young to old amongst our community, and they think it's okay. You are 9 years old and think beating up and jumping and kicking a woman in her 30s that's pregnant with her children, you think that's okay? All right, so reading on, it's Proverbs 30 and 12 again. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. Some of these YNs think this is okay. They think this type of behavior is all right amongst our people. All right? Shalom, Azalik, Jezreel. If I'm saying that right, Azalikio Jezreel. Is that a brother or a sister? I can't see the picture. And I'm not saying the name right. But anyway, shalom. Shalom. Happy new moon, 9th month, if you co-sign to today as being a new moon. All right, verse 13. Proverbs 30 and 13. There's a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among men. Because a lot of these children, they're vicious with their mouth and their tongue, and they doing this stuff to their own people. They're doing this to the poor and the needy. They're destroying their own people and their own community. There was a couple of people out there in Chicago that said, oh, we've been seeing them children terrorize the neighborhood. Why nobody stepped up and do nothing? And normally that's a sign that people are scared of the children, or the children have ignorant family that'll back them up if you say something or do something to them, or people just don't care. Or people like, what can I do? I just mind my business. But something got to be done. If you got a group of teenagers, there was a robbery crew up in the Bronx years ago, right? And they said this robbery crew preyed upon elderly people. And it was up in the Bronx, not the borough bang, for lack of a better word or whatever, but Us in Brooklyn and East New York, we was like, them niggas would have been dead or they would have been dealt with. Them niggas up in the Bronx allowed these niggas to run around and rob 80-year-old. Nah, somebody would have put papers on them niggas. Because that's somebody's grandmother. That's somebody, even though the streets was the streets, but there was morals and rules to the game. You couldn't get away with certain sucker behavior in certain hoods. There was morals to it. Now, niggas was doing other dirt. But if somebody was running around like that, East New York, Brooklyn, and it was known that they were targeting elderly people, I mean, beating them up, robbing them and all that, nah. Even a drug dealer, one of the top dudes in the hood was like, what? Or one of the dudes that got pulled or rep in the hood would have been like, they doing what, yo, son? Some crew would have took them niggas out. Or they would have got a warning, yo, y'all niggas stop running around the hood robbing elderly people, or y'all gonna get dealt with. And they would have got a voice from somebody serious with respect in the hood and wouldn't have been having that. But I say that to say these children were running around Chicago, terrorizing the neighborhood. It had to be fear or people just minding their business, or, you know, people just don't care. Or like the scriptures say, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But you don't have a group of children running around terrorizing the neighbor, terrorizing other children and bullying them. Somebody got to step up and shut that down. But I'm just saying the times we're living in. I'm bringing this all up to show the time that we're living in. All right, reading on. Verse 14 again. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth and the needy from among men. So there's a generation of our children that are vicious with their tongue, their words, their actions towards their own people. We all poor and needy in the hood, man. We all poor and needy, or whatever the case may be. And even some of you that are doing a little bit better, you ain't, like Chris Rock said, you rich, but you ain't wealthy. You still suffering the curses in some way, form, or fashion, even if you got a little bit more money. So when I say with the hood, meaning specifically amongst our people, you might live in a more better, safer neighborhood, but it's still the curses amongst us as a people. But I bring this all out to say and show the sign of the times. So, Israel, you got to stay firm. You got to count the cost of being in this truth. That's another thing. Because, see, a lot of y'all, what happened is, a lot of y'all came into the truth, right? And a lot of you younger brothers and sisters, it's understandable because you don't know. You go through what we call the bright-eyed and bushy-tailed portion of being in this truth. You go through that stage. You excited, you hyped up. A lot of you brothers, you want the knowledge. You want deep breakdowns. You want to, which is fine. All that is fine. So what you do, sometimes you might join one camp and, oh, that camp, they don't know enough precepts, or man, this camp over here. You kind of run where the excitement is, where the hype and the excitement is at. All right, and then when something happens with that camp, like a major scandal or a newfound doctrine that you like, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for this. Now your spirit short circuit, but you got to count all that cost from the beginning. A lot of you, your H.O.I don't come within a certain time, or haven't come within a certain time, you go back in the world. A lot of y'all have a bad marriage or relationship. You women, you was in the truth for 6 months. You let some brother creep up in your inbox and marry you, and it went left, went haywire, you know, and now you blame it on the truth. You had to count the cost of that from the beginning. So let's read that. I just want to bring that out. The spirit was just on me with everything going on to tell Israel to count the cost and stay the course of being in this truth. This is Luke 14. And we'll start at 25. Luke 14 and 25. And there were great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, right? There were great multitudes with Yahushua. Now, why is that great multitude significant? Because many are called, but few are chosen. Now, there were great multitudes following Yahushua because he was a mighty man, and, they wanted to, they wanted to serve him. But you got to also understand that many are called, but few are chosen. Because a lot of times Yahushua would say stuff, and then cats would fall off because they couldn't take it. They spirit short-circuited. All right, so reading on. It says, 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Now, those that have ears to hear, let them hear. Yahushua is not telling us to actually hate our mother, our brother, our sister, our wife, our husband, our own lives, whatever. He's saying you can't put anything before this truth. You gotta understand. You gotta be willing to cut off because a lot of times you come into the truth and those people are gonna hate you. Wives might divorce their husbands. Husbands might divorce their wives. Family members, I know Israelites in the truth that their family don't talk, their family don't deal with them. You in that cult. It's a blessing for you to still have a good relationship with your family when you're in the truth. Your biological family, I mean. Because a lot of times they hate you. And when Yahushua said you got to hate them, meaning you got to be willing to lose them or cut them off for the truth's sake. You can't say my family stopped talking to me, so I'm going to go back to the Baptist church. It don't work like that. So you got to count the cost. And guess what? The cost never stopped. You never stop counting the cost being in this truth. I'm going on 32 years, all praises to the Most High. And I'm still seeing stuff like my spirit had to be ready for that. So you got to count the cost, Israel. You got to know what you signed up for. When you came into this truth, it's all or nothing. It's Yahushua against the world. Not Tupac, me against the world. It's Yahushua against the world. All right, so you got to understand that. So everything that's happening, or going to happen to you in the future is part of this battle, is the condition of the battle. All right, let's read on. It says, and whosoever doeth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. You got to bear your cross. All right. Shalom, SOT Captain Shalom Khan. Shalom, King. You got to bear your cross in Yahushua. You going to come in this truth and you think you're not going to drink in a cup of Yahushua. You're not going to go through the suffering, the persecution, the antagonism, the lies, the pride, the evil, everything. You're going to go through that too. So you got to count the cost. That's what Luke is saying here in Luke 14. This is a very enriching parable and statement that Luke is saying here because it's very encouraging. You got to count the cost. You got to consider everything. And then being in this truth, right? You got to count the cost of the stuff you didn't think about or the stuff you wasn't ready for or the stuff that just come out of nowhere. Let's take an example. It might be a doctrine or a teaching or something like, damn, I looked up to this brother. I looked up to this camp. I looked up to these elders, these teachers. They teaching that now? Damn. But you can't question yourself. You got to continue in the things that you learned and stay solid with what you still understand. There's a lot of stuff I don't agree with in Israel. And sometimes, I even face a backlash, but I'm like, I cannot lie to myself and go with something I don't see in the spirit. I don't care how popular it is. All right, so you got to understand, you got to count the cost of that stuff you might not thought about. That might come along in your career as an Israelite. And I say career loosely, meaning, Paul called this our vocation. This is our true job. All right, just like you work on a regular job, your career. I went to school to be an engineer. I'm an electrical engineer. And somebody come and be like, yo, we got this new AI system and it can do half of the electrical work for us. You like, oh, damn. I went to school for this. I thought what's going to happen? Your boss might say, no, nobody's job is in jeopardy. Not yet. No. But we're going to develop a system where you work with the AI, whatever. I'm just making any hypothetical scenario. We're going to develop a system of how you work with it. Don't worry about it. You're going to still have your job. So now you got to adjust to that. The same thing with the truth. Anything can happen at any time. Any doctrine could come in. Any people could go off. The people that taught you can go back in the world. And what do you have to do? You got to be assured of what they taught you when the Spirit was with them and when the Most High used them to teach you sound doctrine. But now, yo, shalom, brother. I can't follow you past that. There's a balance to this thing. All right, so reading on Luke 14 and 28. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Which of you came into this truth and said, look, I'm going to ride for H.O.I no matter what. I'm going to finish my course. I'm going to count the cost of whatever I got to go through for being in this truth. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to take it on the chin, and I'm going to endure until H.O.I return, endure to the end, and most I will get the kingdom. Just like if you building a house. You ain't got no wood, but you talking about building a house. You ain't got no bricks, but you want to build a tower. It costs you $100,000 to build a tower. You got a budget of $15,000. You got to sit down and count and consider the cost. And the same thing with this truth. I mean, look at, just to use an example, look at Brother Umar Johnson. All right, no disrespect to the brother, but, you know, people are mocking him now. And what I honestly believe, people say that Umar might be on drugs. He scammed the people because he tricks on women. I mean, they done said all kinds of stuff. They got videos of they saying the brother looking for crack in front of his building in Delaware. But whatever. I was rooting for Brother Omar. You know, you support that nigga Elder. He ain't in the truth. He with that African shit. No, I'm just saying, getting a school to teach younger so-called African-American or Judite brothers, hey, what's wrong with that? Maybe one day we can teach Umar and he can bring Israelite curriculum into the school. We don't know. But I wasn't against it, but hey, build a school. But what happened? Things start happening with the money. He's all over the place. And what's happening? He's a laughingstock. People are mocking him now. I don't know. Either the brother, he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't have a good enough business plan. He don't know what it really takes to build a school. I don't know. He squandered the money. He was tricking the money. The brother might have, I hope the brother don't have a drug habit. But my point being, whatever it was, Umar was not ready to build a school. Now the building is there. If one day he say the school is here, students are here, then okay. But so far, people are like, that school's never going to get built. And you got to beat, it can be the same way with this truth. Right? If you go back in the world or you lose. I've heard people say that at one time. You know, I know when I got into a certain situation, people was like, well, what about that Israelite stuff? Nah, I didn't come. I'm not coming back in the world of y'all Negroes. Oh, okay. But people will do that. What happened to that Israelite stuff you was in? What happened? I thought Jesus was coming on a UFO. You back on the block looking simple. Yeah. And you know, our people are relentless. You go back and you shave your beard. I know some brothers trim their beard now to look neat, whatever. You might work in corporate America, whatever the case may be, or just, you know, trimming your beard. You're not cutting into your natural line, but you just want to look neat and decent, whatever. But you go get a damn fade and you back on the block. Yo, what up, son? Yo, son, what niggas doing tonight? Dudes be like, yo, just a year ago, man, you was dressing like Bootsy Collins and Africa Bambaataa and talking about UFOs, man. What's up with you now? Right? And you know our people, they're relentless. They're going to be like, I knew that Israelite ish was BS, man. What happened to Jesus Christ coming on a UFO, man? You ain't doing that no more? They're going to make fun of you. So you got to count the cost of enduring and being in this truth. Reading on. Luke 14:29. Lest haply, after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that beholdeth him begin to mock him. I tell you, prime example with Umar Johnson. That's a carnal example, but this is more spiritually. It said they're going to start to mock you. You laid the foundation. You came into the truth. You was wearing your fringes. You repented. You know, your friends came to your house on a Friday night, you shut them down. Struggleville, Shalom. Galaxy Rob, Shalom. Darrell Jones, Shalom. Khan. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, what happened, man? You stopped hanging out on Friday night. You stopped whoremongering. I told you I got these two shorties. You like, nah, man. Unless you trying to repent and be a wife, and we going to go over some scriptures. What happened to all that, yo? Ah, man, I knew this nigga was just going through a fad, man. This nigga, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, my son is back, son. Word, son, you back. All right, you know, a bitch got her tight jeans back on. Oh, now you go. Why you was dressing like that old lady with that head wrap on, looking crazy? That's why the bitch is back now. Looking like Suki Hana. When at one time you was looking out like one of the daughters of Sarah. Ah, that's right. She got her tight jeans back on, her breasts out. We going to turn up this weekend. Ah, my girl is back. Mockery. I knew that Israelite shit. That guy you was with, the nigga stand on the corner and yell at white people. I knew that was a phase you was going through. My chicken, my bitch is back. And that's how Eve gonna say it. She gonna say her B-I-T-C-H is back. Right? So reading on, it says, saying this man began to build and was not able to finish. That's what they're gonna say, this man or woman. You laid your foundation, you came into the truth, you was going to Shabbat, you repented, you got yourself together. All right, you stopped eating pork, you stopped hanging out. Certain places you told your friends, nah, don't do that no more. Don't even come to my house no more unless you just come in to say hi. But don't come to my house with no wickedness. And depending on what you into, don't come to my house no more. Because I can't have you around my household, depending on what they into. Yeah, Khan, that's right, young lioness, yeah. So you got to count the cost, Israel, and not just with doctrine. Not just if one of your favorite teachers start teaching you can eat green eggs and ham. No, I'm just being sarcastic, right? But you got to count the cost that anything at any time can happen, and you got to stay in the truth. Everybody understand? Give me a con 777 on the comment board. All right, reading on, verse 31, Luke 14:31. Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000. And I'm glad we're starting the month of Maccabees. All right, Shalom, young lioness. We're starting the month of Hanukkah, and I'm glad it says that. What king is not going to consider if he have 10,000 to fight against another king with 20,000? You know what's a good example of that? The Maccabees. Remember, Judas and them had 5,000, and they defeated 65,000 of the enemy. Read 1 Maccabees chapters 1 through 4. Or read all of Maccabees. You got 25 days. All right, to get the story of Hanukkah, Feast of Dedication, and the Maccabees. So Judas said, what? We're going to fight that war with this 5,000 because the Most High is with us. He counted the cost. He said, yes, they outnumber us, but we got the God of Israel backing us up. We can't go wrong. Judas counted the cost. All right, so, y'all can read all about that. I'm giving y'all some homework. I can read it for y'all, but read it on your own. Giving y'all a little homework to get ready for a Feast of Dedication or getting that spirit of warfare during the Feast of Dedication. Reading on verse 32. Or else while the other is yet great way off, he sendeth an ambassage and desireth conditions of peace. Yeah. He like, nah, Let me go and say, nah, we don't, like we used to say in the street back in the days, yo, them niggas ain't want it. Nah, he ain't want it, son. Or you was about to fight somebody and they back down. Nah, see, he ain't want it. And people mock people over that. Oh, see, he was scared. He a coward, whatever. So same way, you don't count the cost of being in this truth. Something happens or a hurdle comes, you go running and you get mocked. What happened to your foundation in that Israelite thing? That's exactly what some of them going to say. What happened? You changed your life for 2-3 years. Now you got to count the cost. Whatever happens, the scriptures tell you in Sirach, the 2nd chapter, take it cheerfully. Count the cost, C-O-S-T, so you can stay the course, C-O-U-R-S-E. All right? Just keep that in mind, Yasha'Allah. All right, it says, so likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he have, he cannot be my disciple. Now, Yahweh Shah is going back to saying what? If you don't hate your mother, father, sister, brother, meaning you cannot put anything or anyone before this truth. What did Paul tell us in Romans 8? Nothing shall separate us from the love of Yahweh Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai. Nothing. So keep that in mind, Israel. Stay the course. All right, reading on. It says, verse 34, salt is good, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for, Salakia, it is neither fit for land, nor for the dunghill, but men cast it out. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. Meaning he that can get understanding, get understanding. So I just read the whole chapter, just to read out the whole chapter. So we the salt of the earth. But if we're not able to be used as that seasoning, if the salt have lost its flavor, it's good for nothing. That's like some food is bland and you put some salt on it and the salt don't help it. Imagine salt with no taste, salt that don't taste like salt. Damn, because salt adds flavor to everything. Right? It's not always good for you because, too much of it can give you high blood pressure and different things. So that's why you got to be moderate with salt. Or use different type of salts with less sodium, like sea salt or something like that. But Yahweh Shah used the analogy of salt, adding seasoning to something. Right? Shalom Yakanai. All right, so understand that. Without the Most High Yahweh Shah and the truth, what are we good for as a people? Why would you come into the knowledge and not be willing to really, Yahweh Shah is saying, look, you got to be willing to risk it all. He that findeth his life in Yahweh Shah shall lose his life in this world. He that loseth his life, he that findeth his life in this world, you done found your little niche in this world, you lose your life in Yahweh Shah. All right. Shalom, young Israelite. So understand that and keep that in mind, Israel. With everything that's going on, count the cost. Now, real quick, before I close out, let's go to Genesis 12 and 3. Gentile salvation. I'm going to do a separate video live on this. But I just want to touch on something real quick. What's my take and House of Israel's take on Gentile salvation. This is real quick, but I'm gonna do another live on this topic with everything that's going on. And again, this has little to do with what happened with the new revelation with Deacon and Hassad with Genesis. This topic has been coming up as of late. Them brothers just happened to decide to come out with what they wanted to bring out, but this topic's been coming up. So I did a live on Facebook when I was talking about saying salvation to the Gentiles and saying the Gentiles can be saved is causing a lot of confusion also. It had nothing to do with Genesis. But a lot of y'all took, I guess it was the timing, but even before Deacon, I didn't even know Deacon and Hassad was coming out with that teaching. And, shout out to them brothers. Do I agree with everything? Hell no. But they still brothers. All right? Well, you bit them Godspeed, second just, all kinds of dumb comments. But I'm going to address a lot of that in another video. I was not even talking about them brothers. I went on a post about Gentile salvation that another brother had put up. And we was talking about the wording of salvation and saved when it comes to the heathen. And I did a commentary on that. And that turned into, they teaching a white man can be saved. You bidding them Godspeed. What the hell is wrong with y'all, Israel? Learn comprehension. Learn to listen more. You got 2 ears and a mouth for a reason. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. But I don't want to jump the gun. Elders of Bach, Shalom. Daughter of Zion, 144. Shalom, sis. Do I know any Israelite schools in Stark, Florida? I never even heard of Stark, Florida. I learned something new today. Email me, houseofisraelnyc@gmail.com. I'll see what Stark, Florida is at and what major city is near that. And if H.O.I, we don't have no recruits there or anything, I'll set you up with some brothers that are in that area. All right, or a camp that I affiliate with in that area. All right, so Genesis 12:3, and it reads, and I will bless them that bless thee. This is the Most High talking to Abraham. And curse them that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. And Abraham shall all families of the earth be blessed. And that's talking about all families. That's not talking about just the family of Israel. But how are the other nations blessed through Abraham? Because the promise goes to who? Galatians 3. The promise goes to Isaac's seed. Isaac had Jacob. Jacob had Israel. Israel get exclusive salvation. That's it. It's cut and dry. Actually, a lot of what's being said is what's been being said. You got people saying we're changing. We're gonna change the One West doctrine. You got people saying that's teaching what we was taught in One West. Now, I'm not talking about Gentile salvation and people going up on the chariots with us. That's what I'm hearing. I have to watch the brother's whole video, but that's what I'm hearing. I'm only going on what I'm hearing. To be fair, I have not got a chance to watch the whole video. And a couple other videos out there, I haven't had a chance to watch all of them. I'm just going by what I've been hearing. So I have to see and hear for myself. Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. But I got to at least see it and hear it for myself. But I'm not really talking about that at this point. That'll be for a separate video. And that video will only be for my and H.O.I stance on so-called Gentile salvation. But it's the same damn stance. Israel gets the rulership salvation. The other nations get the salvation of servitude and slavery and subjection. That's it. There's no Edomite going to be sitting at the table with us and eating. No, his ass going to be in his position. Yeah, we're going to have levels amongst the nations, but they all going to be under us and inferior to us. That's been the teaching from the day I walked into One West, the 3rd week of March, 1994. And that's what I've still been teaching and understanding. But you got brothers saying the same thing, but yeah, that's the true understanding of Gentile salvation. What the hell are you talking about? The elders taught us that back in the early damn 90s. But it's just push the elders and One West out of the way, and let's act like we saying something different. Now, what is different is actually saying Gentiles going to receive salvation on the same level of Israel. That's different. That's not what I was taught, and that's damn sure what I don't see now. But some of you that's talking about you got this new revelation with the same thing the elders been teaching, stop it. And then I'm hearing that the elders taught Gentile salvation. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen a lot of these videos. I heard about them. I seen them post. I got to check this stuff out when I get a chance. I'm not going to, but I don't run to the drama and the sensationalism. So I'll check it out when I get a chance. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to put that out there. So that was Genesis 12:3, right? This is the scripture that a lot of the apologists like to run to, like God, logic, and yes. Like I said, there's the problem with the wording. If you say salvation to the Gentiles will be saved. All the families of the earth going to be blessed. No, only Israel is blessed. When it says all the families of the earth shall be blessed, they'll be blessed through Israel. Their blessing is this. Here's their blessing. Let's go to Isaiah 60. This stuff is not hard. It's not hard, Israel. And this is what we've been teaching and understanding. I don't know what is just this thing. Everybody want to just move One West out of the way. Like they saying something so new and different. And I'm not talking about, because some of y'all, you will listen to half of what I say and then run with a narrative. A lot of y'all got the attention span of a damn donkey, man. You hear what, oh, the elder, he co-signed what they said. No, shut the hell up and listen. Salakia, y'all. I don't mean to be mean. Am I being mean, y'all? Or if I'm not being mean, give me a con 777. Y'all know the elder. You one of the nicest elders in Israel now. But I know how to get that other side can come out of me too. But this is what I'm saying. Listening is an art, Israel. All right. I ain't saying nothing but from what Shalom Kazak. Right? Right? I ain't saying nothing from what I learned from my elders in One West 32 years ago. I ain't changed a damn thing when it comes to no Gentile salvation. So don't get it twisted. Now, this is the blessing that the nations get, that the families of the earth get. Isaiah 60:12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall utterly perish. Yea, those nations shall be, Salakia, those nations shall be utterly wasted. That's the blessing that the Gentiles get, the nations and the kingdoms get. They get to still survive and live if they serve Israel. If they don't serve us, the Lord say, I'm going to do away with that nation. Which Esau going to be done away with anyway, according to Obadiah. After 1,000 years of slavery, Esau going to be totally exterminated. Right? It tells you that in Obadiah. But I don't want to jump the gun. This is really just a new moon encouragement, second part before the sun goes down on the West Coast. It's still daytime here. It's raining like hell in Southern California. We got a storm out here, but it's all good. All right. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just want to come for encouragement on this second part of the new moon, daytime. Count the course so you can stay the course. A lot of things going to happen in this truth. A lot of things going to happen in the world. A lot of things going to happen with our people. That's why I used the example of the children jumping a damn woman in Chicago. I brought it out last night in the new moon, and a lot of the brothers in H.O.I. LA, Shield of Wisdom LA, Sons of Yahweh LA, the other two camps we have the new moon with, they didn't know about the story. It happens. Well, you been on the rock? Nah, inside joke, but it happens. They didn't know. So we was playing it after we, me and Priest One finished the lesson last night. We were playing the videos talking about the story, and the brothers and sisters was like, yo. And then they was bringing out other stuff they heard amongst our people. Some 5-year-old sister got violated. I mean, it's crazy out here. But that all goes into, you got to stay strong. What I'm really saying is you got to stay strong. There's many ways to say it differently, count the cost, whatever. You got to stay strong in these last days, Israel. You know, that's the main thing. And with this truth, I'm just incorporating different things happening in the world, but mainly in this truth. Count the cost. New teachings, whatever, new revelation might come up, whatever. But that was just 2 quick precepts on the stance of myself as an elder and H.O.I. So nobody get it twisted, or you niggas hear 2 minutes of a 16-minute video, 17-minute video, and you formulate a damn opinion. Because you're not using your 2 ears. You ain't using neither one of your ears. You just, well, you may be using a half portion of your ear, and you just run off at the mouth. Well, come on out here and I'll show you that it's raining. No, I'm just kidding. You want me to prove it to you? It's raining in Southern California. I can show you out the window, but that ain't necessary. Right? But no folly, just having fun with the comment board. But yeah, so that's the take real quick, you know, whatever the case may be. It said, in Abraham shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Through Abraham, which was a friend of the Most High and received the promise, through Isaac and Jacob and the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Bad as stray kids for years in Philly. Yeah. Stephen Davenport. Yeah, Con, I hear you, King. Yeah, them children in Philly is buck wild. But that's back to what I was saying. Through Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, they received the promise. We received the promise as being the chosen people and receiving the salvation of superiority and rulership. The nations, they received the blessing or the salvation of servitude and not being utterly wasted away. That is salvation for them, because the Most High is saying, look, if you don't serve my people, the Israelites, I'm going to do away with your whole nation. But again, the commentary I made on Facebook was about the wordplay of the word salvation. That didn't have a damn thing to do with Deacon or Genesis. I had a conversation with two brothers, two camp leaders, as a matter of fact, about that topic on Facebook like 3 days before that. So it had nothing to do. I just mentioned them when I was doing a commentary, but it had nothing to do with them. I was talking about using the term salvation when it comes to the nations, or saved when it comes to the nations. That's where it gets tricky. So if you say, I'm not going to use those, but Genesis 12:3 said all the families of the earth are going to be blessed in Abraham. So you're going to say the families, the other nations are not blessed? You can't use the word blessed when it says that in the scripture? So it's a play on words. Israel hears salvation to the Gentiles or saved to the Gentiles. Your spirit short circuit. Or you hear blessing to the families of the earth. No, only Israel is blessed. But you got to understand, that is a blessing for these other nations. Because the Lord said, if you didn't serve and the Israelites serve me through the Israelites, I would evaporate your whole damn nation. You wouldn't exist. So they like, our blessing is to exist. We better serve the Israelites. That's all it is, Israel. No rhyme or reason to it. It's not nothing to get into a tizzy about. But that's about it, family. Any questions or comments? I'm going to get up off of here. Any questions or comments? Let me get up off here. I got to get my children. And I'll spend a little bit more time with them for the new moon before the sun goes down and things of that nature. Where in the scriptures does it say where a man can have more than one wife? Deuteronomy 21 in the law. Deuteronomy 21 and 15. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, meaning that scripture is going into a brother may have two wives, but for whatever reason, he's got a better relationship with one wife than the other. This wife is calm and quiet. They get along. The other wife, they clash. That happens sometimes, you know. But that's the Lord telling you how to deal with each wife if you have that situation. But what that law is saying is it's lawful that a man had two wives, and the scriptures is telling us how to deal with it. And there's other scriptures where David had multiple wives. Solomon had 1,000 wives. Yeah, Esau was blessed with the sword. All right. H.O.I Green. Am I saying that name right? H.O.I Green. Right? Yeah, Revelation 21 and 24. And the nations of them that was saved, that means the nations are going to be preserved. All right? Not saved with equal salvation to Israel. That's why it says, the nations of them that are saved shall walk in the light of it, meaning we're going to be the light. The nations that are preserved, they're going to have to serve the Israelites. We're going to be a light to all the Gentiles, like it tell you in Isaiah. All right? No, Revelation 21, 24, we broke that down many times. That saved is the nations are going to be preserved. That's all that means. They're going to be preserved to serve the Israelites. They're going to have to walk in the light thereof. They're going to have to follow the Most High God of Israel through his people. That's all that's talking about. See, but that's a play on words. Now they will use that to say that the nations have salvation with Israel. But that salvation is just they're going to be preserved to serve the Israelites. That's all it's talking about when you get to understand it. But they want to understand another way, knock themselves out. We just respectfully disagree. All right, so that's it on that, Israel. I'm going to get up out of here. All praise to the Most High Mashiach Yahushua. Again, Ashar Kadash Sharak. Happy New Moon, 9th month. All right. You must be young, brother. You don't know how to work an email. I'm not laughing at you. It's all good. I don't know if you got Facebook or Instagram. You can try to contact me somehow. Because I never heard of stock Florida. I can look it up. But I don't know if you can get in contact with me somehow. Brother Yakanan Avenger, maybe y'all can share information. But he said he don't know how to use email. But if you can contact me some way, brother, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm not going to get my number up here. Then contact me. I'll see who I can set you up with in Stark, near Stark, Florida. But anyway, happy New Moon 9th month. This is the month that brings in Hanukkah. Again, remember Israel, I have the menorahs available. This is the 5-inch menorah. Those that want their menorahs for Hanukkah, some of y'all was asking me about it. Salakia, took a while. I've been posting pictures and stuff, but you know, some of y'all wanted to see or whatever the case may be. That's the 10-inch with Jerusalem and Shalom on it. All right, that's the 10-inch. And then we have the 15-inch. All right, this also comes in a 12-inch design. That's the 15-inch. All right, inbox me for pricing and ordering details or email me at houseofisraelnyc@gmail.com. You have to have your order in by the first week of December if you want to get it in time for Feast of Dedication. Anything after that, you can still order, but you may not get it in time for Feast of Dedication. Feast of Dedication is December 13th through 21st this year. But if you get it after that, you just got your menorah for the rest of the year and next year's dedication. So again, I only got 3 designs to show. I got like over 30 designs, but I just got 3 to show. That's the 5-inch, silver and brass. Again, this is the 10-inch. All right, Jerusalem on one side, Shalom on the other. Also comes in a bowl design, and also it comes in 7-inch. All right, and then we have the 15-inch. 15-inch. All right, also comes in a 12-inch, and I got like 30 other sizes and styles available. Anything, any budget, anything, man, from a little desktops to something as tall as you, all right, and something within your price range. I'm not trying to kill the nation, so I'll work with you, whatever your budget is. It's just about you getting your menorah. This is not even a big business for me, all right? My little disclaimer. Yeah, the calendars will be done hopefully by the last week of November, by the last week of this month. I'll announce the calendars once we have the visual of it. We're working on the designs now. That's being worked on as we speak. All right, so get at me, Israel. Inbox me on Instagram or Facebook, Zabak Kanai, or email me at houseofisraelnyc@gmail.com. Get your menorah orders in ASAP before by the first week of December. And remember, serious inquiries only. If you got a better deal with Amazon, fine. All right, I'm not making merchandise of the people. This is not I'm not driving a Bentley off of selling menorahs to Israel. Like I said in the beginning, years ago, people actually asked me, Elder, can you get menorahs? I was like, menorahs? What? People asked me, and the Most High opened a door, and I started supplying Israel with their menorahs. Not that I got to put up a disclaimer, but it is what it is. All right, so, yeah. Also, send an email for any general inquiry or information. If you have questions, comments, things of that nature, Questions, we're going to send y'all to the classes. That's what we have classes for. But a lot of y'all have access to us, so you want to, inbox us. That's cool, but that's what we have the classes for. Or if we go live, we answer certain questions live. It's all good. All right, but email me for any inquiries or email House of Israel for any inquiries. If I don't answer back, somebody else will. Most I will. All right. So everybody continue to have a blessed new moon. Continue to have a blessed new moon. Shabbat. Those that are still, Salakia. Continue to have a blessed day, blessed new moon. Inbox me, email me for any information, houseofisraelnyc@gmail.com. Everybody stay strong and blessed. And anything going on in the nation, we'll address at the appointed time. If we don't address it on your time, don't mean it won't get addressed, or we'll talk about it another time. All praise to the Most High, Mashiach Yahushai. Kwam Yashala, we still got next. Hallelujah. Bring it out. H.O.I to them chariots fly. Only screaming if you mean it. Elder priest, brothers of Bach, whatever respectful title you want to give me. Ashar Kadash Rock. Happy new brew moon again. 9th month. Live from the LBC. All praise to the Most High, Mashiach Yahushai forever and ever. Amen. Shout out to the West Coast for showing love. The weather was crazy this time. I didn't get a chance to see a lot of Hebrews that I wanted to. But shout out to the West Coast Israelites in Cali, LA, Long Beach, Southern California area that show love to the elder. Good fellowship till we return to burn. All praise to the Most High, Mashiach Yahushai. Kwam Yashala. Shalom. Kun. Kwam Yashala. Shalom. Bring it out. We still got next. H.O.I to them chariots fly. All the schools and camps and congregations in Yahweh Yahushai forever and ever. Amen. We still got next. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. Shalom. Kun.